them in a particular category. So that's why this systematic framework is called hierarchy. Let us say taxonomic hierarchy. Taxonomic hierarchy. So, what I am telling you in taxonomic hierarchy, what is this actually? It refers to systematic for classification in which different taxonomic categories are logically arranged. It refers to the systematic framework for classification in which different taxonomic categories are logically arranged, either ascending order or descending order. So you see here, I am to show you the taxonomic hierarchy proposed by Linnaeus. Taxonomic as proposed by Linnaeus. Taxonomic hierarchy as proposed by Linnaeus. I think in the meantime you note it down. So I am to rub it out. Therefore, the systematic framework for classification in which different taxonomic categories are logically arranged. I think it is completed in the meantime. So what is this proposed by Linnaeus? Kingdom. Phylum. Division. Class. Orders. Family. Genus. And species. So here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 taxonomic categories. Number of categories 7. In this hierarchy, number of categories 7. Now, you know what is the category? What is taxonomic category? What does it mean actually? You see, each rank of taxonomic hierarchy is called taxonomic category. So if it is so, Each rank of taxonomic hierarchy is called taxonomic category. Then kingdom is a category, phylum is a category, class is a category, order is a category, family is a category, genus is a category, even species is a category. Every one is category in that case. So we can say that in taxonomic hierarchy, remember this thing, in taxonomic hierarchy, each rank is called category. Now this category in turn, each category in turn denotes a rank called taxon. Each category in turn denotes a rank called taxon. Is it clear now? Taxon means, so what is taxon? Taxon is the rank denoted by each category. Example, suppose class Mammalia. Class is a category, but Mammalia refers to a taxon. That means all these categories are actually abstract terms, but the taxon represents real organism. So we can write category but taxon represents real organism. Look here, whenever we say class, only class, it doesn't mean anything. Whenever we say class Mammalia, then what the term Mammalia is used, it indicates all mammals. That's why it is said the taxon represents real organisms. But you know, whatever it is class, whatever it is order, whatever it is family, whatever is genus or species, every one is actually an abstract term. Only by writing these family, nothing else, it doesn't mean anything. That's why it is said an abstract term. But whenever we write down that taxon, then it is found that the taxon represents real organism. What does it represent? Real organism. Taxon represents real organism. Is it clear now? Taxon represents real organism. Now, next part, you see. So, write down in your copy, what is category, what is taxonomic category, how it is different from taxon, how it is different from taxon. Now, we have to, so I think it is clear up to this. Now, we have to proceed towards one thing I should clear. It is not that in taxonomic hierarchy, whenever class is there, always it should be Mammalia. No. Depending on the type of organism, it varies. If class Mammalia, then phylum should be Chordata and kingdom should be Animalia. Then lower class, depending on this order, suppose if it is human, primata, hominidae, suppose homo, and it should be sapiens. So it is so if it is mammalia, then the lower group may not be the same in all cases. In case of human, it is like this. In case of cat or dog, it should be different. Again, when I am going to change the class, suppose if I write amphibia, then upper part remains same, but the lower part would be changed completely. If I write class insecta, look one thing. Then again the phylum changes, upperward changes, it becomes suppose arthropoda. Animal remains same. But if I write here dicotyledone, then division would be angiospermy and kingdom would be planti. That means they are not the same always. Depending on the type of organism, this section changes. All these remain same, but the rank denoted by it depends on the type of organism it is going to denote. So I think it is clear up to this. What is hierarchy? What is the requirement of hierarchy? And how category and taxon can be defined? What are the differences between category and taxon? And it is that whenever the class order they may be same, but the rank denoted by is found different depending on the type of organism used. Is it clear up to this? Do you have any doubt here? Now we can proceed towards the next part, that is each of these categories. Each of these categories. Look here. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. So look here. What happens here? Look here. First of all, I am to start with the lowest one. This is the lowest category and this is the highest category. First one, the lowest category. The lowest category mentioned here is the species. Now you see. What is species? How can we define species? It refers to actually and potentially interbreeding group of population which are reproductively isolated from other such groups. Reproductively isolated from other such groups. Then you can call it a species. What does it mean actually? I have to show you. Look one thing. First of all, suppose the original population. They are all similar. Now, due to some changes, some changes is occurred in this one. And it sounds slightly different from others, but it may not be considered a new species until it is not found to breed with them, not found to be interbreeding. Still, although some changes have been occurred in it, still it is an interbreeding. And hence, you see what happens here. Look one thing. Here, after some time, due to some environmental changes, maybe due to mutation, maybe due to recombination. Now this one found like this much more different now. And not only that, it is not found to breed with this population. Then you can consider as new species. That means from the original population until it is not reproductively isolated, you cannot consider it a new species. Suppose this is a change here, but it is not reproductively isolated, but it is reproductively isolated. So it is a new species. So it is a new species. Is it clear now? So that's why we say, suppose in case of animal, Panthera tigris. In case of plants, Solanum tuberosum. In case of animal, suppose it is Panthera tigris. In case of plant, it is Solanum tuberosum. So from this point of view, we can say that Panthera tigris is a species, includes all tigers. Solanum tuberosum is also a species, includes all potato plants. Potato tigers. All tigers are under Panthera tigris. All potatoes under Soranum tuberosum. They are named as Soranum tuberosum. So this is our species. So each species, including all tigers, each species, including all potato plants. So I think it is clear now what is species and how a new species can be evolved, and when we can call a actually species a new species. So remember this thing, they should be reproductively isolated from other such groups. That means normally, naturally, two different species are not going to breed, but there is exception. What is the exception? First of all, male horse we get high knee. Again, male donkey and female horse, we are getting mule. Both are sterile. I discussed it along the earlier. So here two different species are found to breed. So here it is under human intervention, so it is an exception. Second exception, tiger, lioness, tigon, again, lion, tigress, liger. So it is occurred only under captivity. So this type not taking place naturally, but their tigon and liger both are found to be fertile. But these things are actually the exception of the definition of species. Are you getting me? So you need to remember these two. One, the development of hiney and mule, and also tigon and liger. Here actually the two species of the two different species are found to breed, and hence it is an exception. So this is all. What about the species? After that, we proceed towards the next one.
Sir, what is captivity?
Captivity means suppose in the zoo, wherever under supervision of actually human caretaker, that is called captivity. Are you getting me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, I have a problem.
Now, next comes to, yes?
Sir, I have a problem.
Yes?
Sir, in case of dogs, they are of different breeds. So, sir, in case of dogs, they are of different breeds. Although they are of
Look
same.
one thing, I am telling you. One thing I am telling you. Just I will to make it very clear. different breed doesn't mean different species. Are you getting me? Different breed doesn't mean different species. Suppose you
Sir,
know in human Mongolian type, we are Negro, we are Caucasian. We are the breed races. You know, in dogs also different breeds are found. But different breeds are under the same species. Are you getting me? And in
yes,
this way, when gradually when they are exposed to environment and in one day it is found that they are not breeding with their original population, then only it would be considered as a new species. Otherwise, not. Are you getting me?
yes, sir, yes, sir. That means they can undergo breeding in natural condition
Breed
also.
means breed develops in case of, in case of hand, different breeds are there, Leghorn, Minorca. It doesn't mean that they are different species. They are under the same species, but the variety different. Are you getting me? In case of
Yes,
cow, different breeds are found. Jaspi breed is found. Some other Asian breeds is found. So, they are the different breeds, but they belong to the same species. Are you getting me now?
yes, sir.
Is
Sir,
it
can they
clear?
under?
Huh?
So yes, sir. Can they undergo natural breeding without captivity?
Which one? Liger, tiger?
Yes, sir.
No, no, no. Never. In the forest, in the water, it is never found that tiger is breeding with a lamb. Never.
Okay, sir.
That's why it is under captivity, under human intervention.
Okay, sir.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, next comes to the next part, genus.
Sir, is
What is
tiger
genus
a
actually?
new species from tiger and lioness?
Huh?
Sir, is tiger a new species different from tiger and lioness?
Obviously, actually no. Actually, one thing I am telling you, there they are considered as the exception. So when tiger and lion they have to breed, a liger is produced, and again lion and tigress breed, liger is produced. When tiger and lion is breed, then tigon produced. They are considered special species, but they should not be under the definition of species. Are you getting me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the genus. Related species are placed under this category. Related species are placed under this category. What does it mean, related species? For example, animal, animal, Panthera tigris, Panthera leu. Look, it indicates tiger, indicates lion. Two different species. So these same genus, the species with the same genus, different species with the same genus are considered as related species. Different species with the same genus are considered as related species.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Huh?
I have a doubt, sir.
Regarding this or earlier,
Sir, sir, can Tycoon and Liger breed reproduce?
do one thing, please do one thing. You have to give in the chat box, please. Please, I'm to complete it, and I will answer you. No problem. Panthera tigris and Panthera leu. So where it is found, these organisms, you see, they are the same genus. It is the generic name remains same in both. So they should be considered as related species. As they are considered as related species, so what happens here? These two are under the same genus. That's why it is called related species. How do they identify related species? The species with the same genus are considered as related species, and they have to be grouped in this category called genus. Similarly, in case of plants, what happens? Okay. Now you see what happens here. Panther tigris panthalia in plants, Solanum tuberosum. Solanum melongana. These two, one is potato and other is brinjal. They are with the same generic name. So they are to be placed on the genus. What it is called? Genus means it is the genus name is Solanum. So that's why as they are the same specific epithet, they have to be grouped under the same genus called Solanum. That means they are also considered as related species. Now, among the potato plants or among the Solanum tuberosum, among the Solanum melongana plants, whether there are more difference or among these two plants the difference is more. This most important thing you need to remember. Whenever we proceed upward categories, towards the higher categories, it gradually will be visible that differences increasing. Similarities are restricted, differences increasing. So this is the most important thing you need to remember here. The more we go up, gradually what happens? The degree of difference is increasing. Why I am telling you? Okay, within 1 minute I have to send you again the ID and password. Don't go please. Now you see what? So Solanum tuberosum, Solanum melongana, both are actually, if you have the differentiate between these two, then the degree of difference between these two are more than the plants of Solanum tuberosum. The 1,000 plants of Solanum tuberosum are there. They are so I discussed the genus completely now. Now someone asking questions, decreasing the fertility of this actually Tigon, and Ligan. Earlier it was thought they are sterile actually. But later on it is found that they are actually fertile. Even in the Alipur Zoo, Kolkata, one Tigon was actually found breed with the Asiatic lioness. So it is very clear that they are fertile. This was the first question, whether they are fertile or not. Another question was that whether they are considered as species. No, they should not be considered as real species because they are not breeding in the nature. So that's why they are not considered as true species, rather they are the man-made species. Who asked this question? Is it clear? Is it clear? Oh, no one is responding. Is it clear now? What this liger and tigon? This is a tigon and liger. They are not true species because human interference is there and not occurring in the wild. but they are fertile. They are found to become fertile. Even in the Alikot Zoo, a tiger is found to breed with the Asiatic lion. So that's why you remember this thing, so they are the fertile. But mule and hiney are sterile. Who asked me, is it clear? Who asked me this question? Are you here in the classroom? Do you hear me? Okay. Then comes to the next one. Next comes to the family. Related genera are placed under this category. Look one thing. At first from animals. Point one. Look one thing. Panthera tigris, Felis catus. It is a tiger. It is cat. So now they are with the different genus, but they are related genus. So they are found to be placed under the same category, that is family Felidae, Felidae. Similarly, plants Solanum tuberosum is family, then suppose Lycoperiscon, Esculentum, it is potato, it is tomato. They are in the same group now. So they are the related genera. You know, potato plant and tomato plant, I think you have seen. You see there are a lot of similarities in flowering pattern and floral formula, etc. So they belong to family Solanaceae. Clear? So here we get the Solanaceae, Felidae, because here related genera. That is Solanum and Lycoperiscon are related genera. Panthera and Felis are related genera. And as they are placed under the same family, Felidae in case of these two and Solanaceae in case of these two. So this is about the family. Again, if you consider Solanum tuberosum potato plant and Solanum melongara brinjal plant, if you have to find out the similarity between these, then you will get they are more similar than Solanum tuberosum and Lycoperiscon esculentum. First thing. Similarly, if you consider Panthera tigris and Panthera leu, you will get there is more similarity than in comparison to the Panthera tigris and obviously Felis catus. So that in the family, the gradually as we are moving up, gradually differences increasing. So remember this thing. After family, the next one is order. are placed under this category. So, what does it mean? For example, I am showing you here. Suppose from plants. Suppose family, Felidae, family, Canidae. This is the family of dog. This is the family of cat, tiger, lion, etc. Family of dog, wolf, a family of tiger, cat, etc. They are closely related families, so they are under order Carnivora.
Sir, I have asked you a question.
Who?
Sir, me, Rohan sir.
Already I discussed this question. You are not joining at that time.
Sir, Mimosa pudica and this one.
Oh, your new question.
Yes, sir.
Give it in your chart book, Mimosa Bodica then. Giving in your chart book, please.
Sir,
Chart
given.
book, please. Given?
Given. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll be asking, no problem. Now you see. First of all, I am telling you Mimosa Bodica and Solanum tuberosum not belong to the same family. One is actually similar to that of Mimosae and like similar to that of the, to some extent, Mimosae family, and Solanum tuberosum belongs to Solanaceae family. They are quite different. See, if you consider the flowering pattern of Mimosa pudica and what is called Solanum tuberosum, you will get a huge difference. A ball-like inflorescence is developed in Mimosa pudica. But here a flower is developed with some pentamerous characteristics. That's why Mimosa pudica and Solanum tuberosum not belong to the same family. Are you getting me now?
Yes, sir. Okay.
There will be an underline on Feliz. There will be an okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, next one. So, related families are placed under this category. So, what are these categories? First of all, already discussed. Now, regarding the plants. Suppose family Solanaceae. Family Convolvulaceae. Solanaceae, you know, family of tuber, potato. Potato. Convolvulaceae family of sweet potato. Sweet potato means Ipomia batatas. So I think actually morning glory, sometimes this plant is called sweet potato, sometimes it is called morning glory. Purple colored flowers are formed, very beautifully shown, and also actually very weak stem. And underground root is actually the edible, which is called sweet potato. So they are familiar. I think some of them maybe have seen the sweet potato plants. Now, family of sweet potato is Convolvulaceae. Family of potato is Solanaceae. These two are closed families because they have some similarities. What are these similarities? Similarity in the flowering pattern. So the order name Polymonialis. Polymonialis. Order is Polymonialis. So now you see again the similarities between Solanaceae and Convolvulaceae and similarity between the genus like Solanum and Lycophyllum is much more than that. So again as we go up, the difference is increasing. I am telling you again, difference is increasing. Then comes the class. Again related families. Now, sorry. Are placed under this category. Related orders are placed under this category. So, look one thing. Related order means, what are these related orders? For example, I am telling you from an email first. Orders carnivora. Orders primata. These two are related orders and hence they are included under class Mammalia. That's why related orders are under Mammalia. You see now the differences found between Felidae and Canidae. You know the similarities between a cat and a dog and similarity between a cat and human being. Where we get more similarity? Obviously in cat and dog, there is more similarity in between, there is more with cat and dog. That means as we are proceeding toward the class, we can say that this similarity is again increasing. In case of plants, orders Polymonialis, orders Rosalis. Rosalis means belongs to the roses. Different types of roses and others are included under this order. So these two are related orders. So they form the class Dicotyledone. Means they belong to class called class Dicotyledone. That means they are dicots. Then comes to that. So it is clear now. Again, you know, difference is increasing. After that, we have to proceed towards the phylum or division. Phylum or division. You know, related plants, related division is used in case of plants, and in case of animals, phylum is used. So what is here? Related class included under this phylum. Related classes are included under this category. It may be phylum or it may be division. So in case of animals, you know, suppose class Chondrichthyes, class Osteichthyes, class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves, class Mammalia. Look, they all are the related class, so they are included under phylum Chordata. Under phylum Chordata. In case of plants, the division is Angiospermi. So dicot, class dicot and class monocot together form a division called Angiospermi. Angiosperms mean where seeds are found to be protected by seed covering, actually fruit covering. So they are the Angiospermi. One is monocot, other is the dicot. So this is what about the division. In that case, Angiosperm is actually a division. Dicotyledony and monocotyledony are the class. So they are the related class, dicot and monocot, and they are included under the division Angiospermi. So this is what about the plant. And lastly, we have to proceed over the kingdom. Last one, kingdom. So related phyla or divisions are included under this category. Related phyla, actually better to say related phyla, or you can say all phyla, kingdom. So what about the kingdom Animalia? Kingdom Animalia. It includes all phyla. It includes all phyla. All phyla, I think you can remember. So I am just telling you what are the phyla you need to know, and again you will be discussing in the animal kingdom class. Just listen. What are the all phyla? I am telling you. Point of phyla of sponges, that is Porifera. Phyla of Hydra, that is Nidaria. Phylum of Hormifera or Barrow, that is Ctenophora. Phylum of earthworm, that is Annelida. Phylum of insects, crab, spider, that is Arthropoda. Phylum of snail, octopus, that is Mollusca. Phylum of starfish, sea cucumber, sea urchin, that is Echinodermata. And lastly, phylum of ourselves, that is Chordata. All phylum is there, and also Hemichordata. So phyla already I am not going to write here. So the phyla are Porifera, Nidaria, Ctenophora, then Platyhelminthes, Nemathelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. Total 11. Are you getting me? Total 11 phyla are existing now. So starting from the Porifera, Nidaria, visible. Then comes Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. And the Porifera, the phylum of sponges, Hydra, jellyfish, Tinoplana or Hormifera, tapeworm, roundworm, the ascaris, earthworm, butterfly, snail, starfish, Belanoglossus, human. Look at this now. Clear? So starfish, Belanoglossus, Belanoglossus. So these are the phylum in case of animal kingdom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now one thing, whether these categories are sufficient, nowadays is found that only 7 categories are not sufficient. So some new categories are incorporated. Into this category for much more suitable and correct identification, for correct classification. For example, I am telling you, suppose you know chordata. In chordata, we get shark, we get rohu fish, then suppose frog, then from lizard, suppose pigeon, human. Again we get Acidia. We get Amphioxus. Look one thing. In chordata, we are getting all these types of animals. But you know, they have some similarities up to these. What? Vertebral column is developed, and two, brain is protected by bony cranium. Look, but what about them? In Acidia, vertebral column is not developed. Notochord is found only at larval stage. Thirdly, brain is not protected by bony cranium. So this is one of the Acidia. They're quite different from them. Another one, what I said about the Amphioxus. 7, 8, Amphioxus. What is found in case? Notochord is found throughout life. Notochord is found throughout life. Two, vertebral column is not developed. Three, bony cranium. So look at these. So they are similar, but these two are again different from each other, and these two are different from this group also. So for correct identification, for correct placement, we need to have some new categories for placing them. This is a requirement. That's why later on now, you know, a new category is developed in between the phylum and the class. Look, what is this? Phylum Chordata. The new category called subphylum. These are new category. Under these we are getting subphylum. What are we getting here? Urochordata. Then we get Cephalochordata. Last we get Vertebrata. This Acidia, when notochord is found only in the larval stage, is grouped under this subphylum. where notochord is found throughout life, placed under cephalopoda. And here all these animals, shark to human, are under shark, human, etc. are under this vertebrata. So this is the requirement of a new category. Sometimes it is asked why some new categories are required to be incorporated. Actually, the basic motto of classification is to classify organisms based on the similarities and dissimilarities in such a way that dissimilar organisms should be in different groups, but similar organisms should be in the same group. That's why some new categories are developed here so that we can study them properly. If a lot of unrelated organisms are present together, it would be very difficult to draw a line of actual similarity and also to study them. That's why if there are some differences found, that should be included in a different subphylum so that it will be easier for us to study these organisms. These are requirement of what is called different categories in the and whenever we will be discussing animal kingdom, you will get a lot of new categories again. I'm not discussing it here. Like you will get subclass, you will get infraclass, you will get superclass. So a lot of categories are incorporated, and then you will understand. Obviously, there are certain dissimilarities found that there should be in a different group. Then it would be easier for us to study them, and that's why new categories are developed. Second thing, classification system is a dynamic system. Look, why it is called dynamic system? Earlier, chorata was divisible into 4 subphyla. At that time, those chordata, what are they? Hemichordata, Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and lastly vertebrata. So already this is here. So it was earlier. Why it is now not in this? It is found that with the advancement of different types of scientific information, different types of instruments, now it is very clear that what it was thought earlier, none of the scientists of these days are differing with these actually characteristics. Then what to do? Suppose hemichordate like animal like Melanoglossus, what happens here? Suppose this is the hemichordate, so this is the proboscis. This is the collar here, and this is the body and trunk and the tail. Earlier it was thought that here there is a structure called, you get a structure here, and it is called actually stomochord. Earlier it is thought that it was notochord, but it was not notochord because it is hollow. Notochord is solid. It is actually at the outgrowth of the buccal cavity, but it is actually, you remember this thing, it is actually not lying in between elementary canal and dorsal hollow nerve cord. So that's why I will be discussing it in the next day again. So that I have to complete the chapter next day and you need to go through it. So that's why a new actually changes are going to take place. So if you have any question, you can directly write to my WhatsApp. I have to stop now. Thank you all. Please. It is hollow. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.